Peace and blessings, and welcome back to the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. This episode is brought to you by Transparent Credit Repair, the superheroes of the financial literacy and credit repair world. If you're looking to fix your credit and open your wallet to receive money, then open it to pay off debts and bills, please contact Transparent Credit Repair at www.transparentcreditrepair.com, and you could call them at 862-250-5122. Remember to tell them Heritage Hip Hop sent you, and you get something very special for doing that. This episode of the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast, we talked to a hip hop icon from the legendary Boot Camp Click, Duck Down Records, an icon in the game. And to be an icon, you got to drop a classic album. Arguably, they have two. We're talking today to 5 Foot of the legendary Black Moon hip hop group. Black Moon consists of Evil D, BDI, Buckshot, and him, 5 Foot. He was a voice a lot of people did not hear enough. So in Heritage Hip Hop, we bring you an interview where not only he gets to show his wisdom when it comes to the hip hop game, but he gets to show you his depth and what he brings to the game, instead of just being another name, voice, or face that you may or may not recognize. So this one is very intuitive. Personally speaking, this is a very special interview for me because whenever I get to talk to somebody whose music I appreciate, I get excited. You know what I mean? And you probably hear that in this interview. So without further ado, we bring you 5 Foot of the legendary crew Black Moon. I will be back with the rest of my commentary after this amazing interview.
Shout out to Miss Green Eyes on the Instagram. My lady, that's my lady, my number one supporter and fan, and my business partner. We did this together, live action. Love you, baby.
Peace and blessings, everybody. Welcome back to Heritage Hip Hop. And on the line today, I got one of my favorite MCs. And if you a real hip hop head, you'll know why I like him and why he's one of the greatest of all time, whether you know it or not. Please introduce yourself to the people.
I'll be the Mr. Live Action 5FT from the group Black Moon, General Fever, Live Action 2020. Here we go.
Man, it's a pleasure to get to talk to you. I ain't feel this way since I talked to Billy Dames, you know what I'm saying? Like when you talk to people who you have, like who's like your heroes, it's like you get that excited energy. So I'm standing right now. So peace and blessings to you, bro. What's going on with you?
Same to you, man. Maintaining, paying attention, moving precautiously, pretty much watching how everything has been transpiring the last few months and everything that we're going through. So just pretty much,
I'm glad you said that because doing the history of listening to you rhyme, you've always been a conscious spiritual rapper, whether people gave you credit or not.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And everybody has probably always asked you what was going on during the first album, why you weren't there. We'll let them do their research and talk that history a little later. Right now, we're gonna focus on elevation right now. So instead of asking why weren't you there on the first album too much, when that second album came out, which was 5 years after the classic album, how did you elevate to be more known and having your presence felt instead of just being the face that came back?
I mean, to be frank, it's like, after the first album dropped and the impact and the response to that was incredible, and I think a lot of people bigging me up on that project, on what I did, gave me more motivation. I'm on something. When we first did the album, it was go in, do what y'all do. It was no blueprint. Nobody showed us. Nobody told us. Nobody was conceptualizing. We were just going with the flow. Plus, we was young at that time, too. You know what I'm saying? Mad young, Prior to that, I've always been mentally and spiritually inclined. That's always been my thing. I've always been attracted to that kind of information, the information that's going to enable an individual to uplift himself mentally and his people as well. You know what I'm saying? So that's always been the basis of, behind my pen or behind my state of mind, how I think, how I feel, how I reflect. But a lot of anticipation of what you're gonna do was just it was just a build up. You know what I'm saying? That it went from the first album was writing a little bit here and there. I wasn't writing a lot, but prior to the second album, I was writing every day after that because I felt like I had a point to prove. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand that. For everybody, I'm from Jersey, so big up to the Garden State.
Big up to Jersey. I just
And
came from out there.
All right, that's what's up. And in my circle of hip hop lovers, we compared you to Phife.
Okay.
And that's like a very high compliment to a lot of people, because on the Tribe's first album, Phife wasn't there before a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And then in the second, Phife came off and he was like crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Because he used to early in the game, Phife used to come over to the Beatminder's house, Mr. Walk, and come check Mr. Walk. You know what I'm saying? So I had an opportunity to be around him. We used to have a lot of conversations and things back and forth. I'm just upset, like, we never got a chance to do some music together.
Yeah.
You know, that was one of my goals eventually once I got situated. But yeah, that's something that, you know, I just wasn't able to do. But that's definitely a compliment because we grew up off of, you know, Tribe Called Quest. You know, Tribe Called Quest, Gangstar, you know what I'm saying, KRS-PE, you know, all of it came out in that time, in that era that was coming with that kind of music and that type of message we've been inspired by. So that's pretty dope.
Word.
To Phife, R.I.P. Word.
For sure. And the reason why I said that is because, like, when we heard Five because everybody knew Buck and Into the Stage, like I said, classic. And you know, Son Get Wrecked. You know, we was on it. But then when Warzone came out and we heard you, we was like, yes. We always heard Five, we coming to get you out, Five. And then when Five got on the mic, Five had a voice that was very significant and made the track different. Buck is more laid back, you know, he's cool with it, you know what I'm saying? But Phife is like controlled aggression, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I wanted to ask you, how important is it to have a voice before you spit a bar as an MC?
Just always have a voice, because nobody gonna listen if you don't got no voice. You know what I'm saying? Your voice is the attraction. That's what makes 2 people come, 3 people come, 4 people come, 5, 6, and then that makes the multiplication come for people wanting to listen. So that's definitely a major perspective. If you study in the game, you'll notice that everybody that had an effective impact on the game had a voice.
Like Chuck D or Jada
Chuck D was the Martin Luther King. You know, his voice was very impactful. No, vocally. It don't matter what he said, how he said it vocally was highly impactful. Every verse, so like, yeah, a little bit of when you say why you was aggressive, like Chuck is one of those that inspired that energy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I used to listen to Chuck on a regular, like that's all was one point, that's all I was rocking to. Harris, One, Chuck, Ra, you know. Individuals that was dropping the jewels and was sparking them on, you know what I mean? Not just from a glamorous perspective, but a real life perspective.
But isn't that what a lot of MCs or artists today miss? Because when you talk about that inspiration, you're talking about going back to the forefathers and being well versed. Do you think today people are not real versed to just it's just well popular to people that have some type of inkling of hip hop today?
Unfortunately, life is revolves around popularity. So each element, each era, whatever's popular is going to rise to the occasion and get the most attention. So until we have to establish that, like, you know, a lot of museums type environments where we get a chance to physically reflect on those that came before us. So those perspectives can be in people's minds, but the way that the world is speeding right now, nobody had the time to really reflect on those things. You know what I'm saying?
Eloquently, I do. And that goes to the point of why it is important for us to always pay homage, which I believe is a lost art in hip-hop. I don't believe people pay homage to the people who inspire them.
We need to pay homage in life, not just for hip-hop. When we start paying homage to life, then we could start paying homage to everything. Because I heard this, this is not a new conversation. We've been speaking on this, you know what I'm saying? Paying homage was, somebody asked me about paying homage in 2007. You know what I'm saying? So this has always been the case. If we don't establish it, then we can establish it. You understand?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Because paying homage is one of the arts of life, period, as you said.
Right.
Because even when we read the spiritual books, they always refer back to the inspiration that gave us life today.
Exactly. To all the prophets, you go to each one's scripture, each book, each text, each message, and there's a specific message that each individual brings, and you apply that to your situation. Have an open mind, you gotta be able to do that. You know what I mean? You knowing your purpose, knowing what life is about, and knowing where you'll be most effective right now in life is the move right now.
True. Understanding that and having that gift of an MC, you are the key to a level of health, understanding,
right,
and lessons that the youth and the world gets through speaking your words.
And I don't take none of that for granted. I don't take not 1 ounce of that for granted. I'm very particular on the kind of conversation that I would love to bring. That's why I'm working on my solo projects and things of that nature. So you will get a full throttle of that whole perspective coming directly from me. When you're working in a group, it's called compromise. Mm-hmm. So when you got a group and you put out and you put out a product that's effectively been established strongly, you try to keep that formula and that same rhythm at the same time. But when you have a solo project and it's all your creative ideas and thoughts, I got a lot banging in this bag for y'all. I got a lot coming right now. It's a whole strong conversation. Exactly the build-up, like you said, the build-up of, on the second album, I'm coming through with the knowledge and the wisdom. That's because I was building. I was experiencing some things in life. So, that added to the fuel in the fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that you kind of jumped the interview like 20 questions ahead that I had, which is dope. No, that's great. That's great because my interviews are not structured. I like to have a conversation because I believe, and this is what my brand or heritage hip hop is. We don't care too much about the beats and the rhymes because you can get that anyway. Right. We want to hear the depth of the artist because we want to prove to the world that hip hop is very eloquent and intelligent and not just people rhyming. You know what I'm saying?
That's what attracted me to the game.
Well, talk about that.
That's what attracted me to the game, that kind of conversation. The kind of conversations of elevating your mind, having pride, where your morality at. This is what the artists from the 90s, the kind of conversation that they was bringing. You know what I'm saying? From the early 80s and in the early 90s. You know what I'm saying? You had Grandmaster Flash, you had The Message, things of that nature. So these are the things that inspire me, and seeing the struggle of the people, recognizing that early, that also definitely plays a part in the kind of conversation that I choose or I prefer to bring to the people.
And that's much appreciated because that's the type of sound that was systematically phased out of the mainstream conversation. Isn't it? I mean, it's not weird, but isn't it just a typical espionage that we had songs like Shaquilla where they praised the woman, the black woman especially, in music, to now everything has to be about the body size, making it clap, how many dollars you get.
Well, that was always in design. It just oversaturated, unfortunately, the knowledge. Sex, money, and murder. Terrorist One, like, that's always been. You had, 2 Live Crew, you know what I'm saying? That's always been in the play. Those things I consider and call them distractions. I call that distracting entertainment. But if that's what you prefer to be distracted by and not the things that is going to help you survive and stay alive and become a better man or a better woman or a better individual or a greater person, you know. You have to decide. You have to make the choices. What's the choice of what's more important?
So let's go back a little bit, because
Yeah.
choices are part of what makes a man, because your experiences helps broaden and control your role and your journey in life. You
That's
see what
right.
I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And you said being in a group, you made the choice to compromise.
Right.
But you also are part of collective, and the collective that will go down in hip-hop history as one of the strongest, most beloved collectives in the game.
That's
How did being one of the founding fathers of that collective help broaden your ideals to make you a better MC?
Me wanting to be better broaden my height and me be a better MC. Me wanting to be better, me wanting to be greater, you know, when you get enough time to sit down and have serious conversations with yourself, then you get a chance to decide and finalize where you want to be and what you want to do. And when you got the technique and the skill, you do it. Like, I ain't going front. I ain't really have a lot of confidence. I want to do it. I had the love and all those elements. But when you're in it and it's creative and the structure, you see the reality and the type of work that you got to put in, adjustments have to come into play. You know what I'm saying? And I made those adjustments by being consistent, by, you know, harnessing the love that I have for the game and wanting to be a part of the culture. You understand? And added on to the elevation of the culture. So all those dynamics play a part in me becoming a better MC, coming with better thoughts, constantly working, constantly saying, you know, coming up with lines and constantly coming up with different ideas and flows and things of that nature that's going to be appealing to the people's ears, you know. I'm a perfectionist, so anything I do is very artistical. I've been drawing, I've been into music ever since I was a child, put it that way. My mom's introduced me to the music, you know.
Nice. And see, that's why I say hip-hop comes from God. Hip-hop is not like R&B. Not dissing R&B or disrespecting it, I should say. Because anybody can sing, whether you sing good or bad, anybody can sing. But everybody...
I don't think the culture died. I think she just been, it's been, how can I say?
Sleep?
It's been oversaturated by what they're doing now.
Okay.
Okay, now, and I think the younger generation would feel like, hold up, this is our version of hip-hop. You're not going to sit here and say this is not hip-hop. This is our
Glad you said that.
You understand what I'm saying? So now it comes to a level, okay, we got to respect the game now, because that's what was happening before.
Right.
You understand? You know, time is of the essence. Those that are younger are going to take over where those that are older can no longer fill the vein. You understand? So we didn't, those of the 90s, we didn't have a base where we can be able to protect and give out the opportunities that they have now. So what we going to do? They got to eat. They got to make bread. This is how they do. We got that. I got that. I understand it. You know what I mean? But just like in our era, we got to step. Now that all this is happening now, hopefully the conversation will change. Hopefully we will get to the element of let's elevate each other, let's speak. Because I do see a couple of young artists. I forgot some name, but he rhymed over self-destruction. He did a couple of old joints, and he dropped some jewelry on it. So it is there. It just has to be reflected. Just like we giving an outlet to all this, we got to establish put up a stage so we can, you know, get some attention in those areas of lyricism when it comes to mental, you know. Besides our Kendrick Lamar's, you know, it's a lot of other artists out there that got some bombs.
True indeed. I'm glad you took it there, because we always hear people talk about the golden era. And I personally don't believe there's one golden era. Because depending on where you come into the culture, that's going to be your learning point for a golden era. I'm of a certain age, so I can't talk about what it was like to get a mixtape with Grandmaster Caz on it and it was brand new.
Right.
I only know the stories.
Right. But you can respect it and you can harness it just as if it was the same way when your era came and you was able, whoever was hot at that time, whoever was doing anything, you was able to get a copy of that cassette tape.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same difference. It's just a different era.
Facts. And that's what makes 90s hip-hop so endearing, is because 90s hip-hop is equivalent to what happened when the Jordan era started in the NBA.
90s hip-hop, I call that the Vortex era. That's when the Vortex was open.
We'll talk about it.
Different production. It was so much cosmic production, lyrics, bars, songs, conscious, was radiant at that time. And the creativity was crazy, and everybody was being their own individual. Nobody was copying nobody. That wasn't standing strong at all.
Yeah, because I mean, in the 90s is the only era in hip-hop where it was so many eras in between that decade. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we go back to the Black Moon first album, that's when a lot of people heard Mobb Deep. Y'all on the same label. You know what I'm saying? So when Peer Pressure was there, and
no, we came actually before the Peer Pressure. We just dropped.
Okay.
We came a little before the Peer Pressure.
Okay.
Yeah, we came a little before the Peer Pressure. I remember that era because we was doing shows and we was trying to get them. They was linking up with us and building us as far as managerial things that go. You know how this thing goes, things of that nature. You know, as far as booking and getting into the game. So yeah, I remember that time.
Okay, and that part of the era was that gritty, New York bass heavy, just
it was music.
Aggressive hip hop.
It was music.
And then like I said, from 90
it was more
to
soulful.
about
it was soulful. The samples were soulful. It was a lot more soulful. It was a lot of originality. You know, it was a lot of raw. You know, it was a lot of creativity. It was just a good time. It was a good era. Everybody was just starting to eat. Everybody was moving around, you understand? People was getting a lot of light. It was a lot of action at that time. It was a lot of action.
Oh, definitely.
That was a good era. That was a good era for hip-hop. That was.
And the thing about that specific time was, that's when the change of the guard came, because now the money started coming into the game.
Of course.
And hip-hop started...
They found more ways to pimp the game as they went on. Yeah. They found another way, another system to pimp the game and get more. So I remember when Napster came with the first action, because my man was working at the studio in Manhattan. Matter of fact, it's in the old job building. I forgot the name of it, but anyway, I remember they got the memo from Clive saying that Napster was coming. I had to download all that. When that came in 2000, it was like 99, 2000, or something like that. I already knew that it was going to be a detriment situation for the game, because nobody really knew what direction it was going in. Nobody knew where to take it to. You know what I'm saying? That's where, you know, Hope came. You had Eminem, X, Rough Riders, Locks.
Yeah, that's the late 90s, early 2000s, right?
Yeah, they came.
That's after the door got kicked in.
You had No Limit. You had Lil Wayne in them.
Cash Money.
They was killing it then. Cash Money was on fire. You had Nelly and them coming, so that's when the dynamics started. Everything started going southern. Remember, East-West. East-West was holding the reins like this. Then it went south. And it stayed south. And come back yet. Up until recently.
Which is very interesting, because as the game changed, certain vital elements were lost in it.
They'd be missed. People want to hear that. They want to feel that. They need something they can feel. You know? Everything ain't a party and a twerk. I get it, but everything ain't that.
Fact.
So.
But I want to ask you this as a veteran, though. Let me ask you this as a vet. I think a lot of the technology took away some of the power of the MC and gave the middleman more power that he needed. My question to you is, do you miss some of the things that used to go on in the past, like in stores and meeting the fans?
Of course, all that's going to be missed. You know what I'm saying? But now we have more power and direct contact with the fan. It's just better now than it was before.
Okay.
Before, you couldn't get an interview with me. You ain't know where I was at. I could have been right next door to you.
Mm.
You understand? So we have more access. We have to take advantage of all that. You know what I mean? The only thing you're missing in the game is that market and budget money. Okay?
Marketing and budgeting. That comes with the machine.
That's what it is. That comes with the machine. That's what you know, those things. You know? Those are the
All
things
right.
that's being missed. As well as artist development.
True.
Those things of that nature, you know.
So let's put your OG hat on for a second, and let's talk about that, because I believe a lot of people criticize hip hop today because there's no A&Rs and no artist development. We're watching the artists develop in front of our eyes, from the internet to their life experience.
Themselves. Yeah.
So if someone came to you to better themselves as an MC, from what you see, and we're not going to lump everybody in the box, but or generally, from what you see, how would you cater to grow an MC today?
You can't grow an MC. You gotta have it.
Okay.
I got my nephew. His name is Asaru. Check him out. Who is Asaru? He go to SoundCloud. He's on Instagram. Okay. He started getting it in at 12 years old. He's 21 now. So, like, he already had it. I didn't even know he had it, but he was coming with it, and it was showing, and I could hear it. So pretty much, you know, you can hear it. Certain people don't need to be developed. What they need to be doing is guided and directed. All right, do this, study this, work on this on your vocals, try this. Just give them ideas, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times I don't try to control, you can't really control the artists. I let them do their thing. All I'm going to do is give them my little piece of advice that's going to make their situation or make their machine run better. That's what I look for. That's my job. That's what I do when I run into artists or artists come and ask me some questions. You know what I mean?
Okay, hold on for 1 second. You said you can't grow an MC, but you give jewels.
You can't grow
What are the
one
jewels?
unless you give birth to one. You could give birth, but that's not guaranteed either.
So what are the jewels you give to help groom an MC rather than grow one?
All right. You got to write every day. You got to write every day, and you got to read a lot. You must want to have your vocabulary up to speed. That's one of the main things. Study rhythm, study flows, listen. I'll give them guidance. You know, I don't, you know, depending on what direction they in, like, you know, I got an artist that I work with right now that's doing music for right now, like generation music that they're doing right now. And only thing I come in is make sure that the vocals sound good, you know what I'm saying, and his choruses, and I feel it, I'm me just sitting back listening. The flow is there, the conversation is there, the vocals is there. Let's go. You know?
Okay. I want to ask you this, judging your style and knowing what I heard of you, what gets you ready to take over a track? Is it the energy you bring or that first bar to grab someone's attention?
I ain't gonna lie to you, son. I don't be thinking about that when I'm writing. All I do is think about this verse gotta be fire. You know what I mean? After I get it locked in with how I want to deliver it when I come, and then when I put it down, I'm always going to come with the hunger and fire like I'm supposed to. You know? That's my passion. That's how I measure my passion when I do my thing. So it's really like me being myself when I'm in the booth, me being myself when I'm writing, me being myself at all times. Yeah, that fire, that energy, that aggression, you know, I feed off. That's what hip-hop does for me. That's what the energy that hip-hop developed inside of me. Before I was rapping, I was dancing. Same thing when I was dancing, the energy, you know, aggressively dancing. You know, my flow, my tempo. A lot of times when you hear certain bars, I might have wrote my bars the way that I hear Gregory Hines tapping.
That's interesting.
I write my bars the way I hear the rhythm going. You understand? And or that's a perfect example that I could give you, the way Gregory Hines is tapping. So a lot of times I'm dissecting the track. I'm trying to think of a different way to hit it, or a different flow, or, you know, my version of that. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm a horns guy, I'm a jazz guy, so I'm indulging all that. And a lot of times you hear, to be honest with you, it be me dancing in my mind. It just, I put words to it. That's the best way that I could describe the question, to answer the question that you're asking. I'm dancing in my mind on the beats. But I'm just expressing it, and I'm manifesting it through the words. That might sound ill, but yeah, that's the love, cause from the love of the dancing and the love of the music, the love of the rhyme, it all equal and balance. I bring that shit together, you know.
So then, this is why I call people juggernauts who do certain things. And you're in the juggernaut class.
Crazy.
Now, for everybody who don't know, let's school them. Juggernaut was the villain on the X-Men that when he came into the fight, he would bust through a wall, and his presence was so big that you had to reevaluate yourself.
And I appreciate that. That's a fact. That's my mentality. That's my energy. That's part of my ego. I always been the littlest one out to punch. So I guess that's part of my little bit complex of coming and making sure that everybody acknowledges that I'm on the set.
One of my favorite 5-foot verses is on 1-2.
Oh my God.
Now, when 1-2 came on, remember, you hit the beat as soon as it changed. Because, you know, when everybody heard the song, they was like, oh, they did the Coogee rap joint. You know, it ain't never going to change. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, you don't know how much rhymes I wrote to that beat. You don't know how much I listened to. We used to have a double tape deck cassette player. I played Coogee. That's all I played was G-Rap. That's all I played was G. You got Axe Bub, you got Axe E, you got Axe Bub, back night, yo. That's all I used to play, man. So certain things you even hear, like on the first album, Sun Get Wrecked. Sun Get Wrecked. The original beat was the Little Kim beat, No Time.
Wow.
Because Big Daddy Kane used it first. Okay, I think Big Daddy Kane used it on one of his songs, I believe. And that's what made me want to use the same sample and loop. But we didn't get the sample. So the original beat that you heard with Sun Get Wrecked was supposed to sound like that. It was supposed to sound like that No Time playing and the doom, the doom, doom, doom. Hey, doom, 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 doom. Hey, that's what I wrote it to. I wrote it to that. I didn't write it to that beat that E made.
Okay.
And I was very mad at it because I felt like that took away from the song. Would have been, if you would have heard that version was fire, in my opinion.
Okay.
But people end up liking it regardless, so that made it even extra fire. So, you know,
classic album.
Share that exactly. So, yeah.
But when I hear the problem is you didn't listen. When I warned you. Now I took 5 steps. Now I'm gonna warn you. Evaluated, elevated, escalated, accelerated. Right there. Now look, that right there. That is what set the tone.
In the script.
Yeah, because like Buck was smooth, you know, Mr. Black smooth. So you know, like he was wavy with it.
That. Yeah, he always like that.
And then when you came up on the track, it was like, whoa, what's that?
My intro, my delivery, that's from developing over time. You understand? I mean, I used to write a lot. We used to write a lot of poems, things, and, you know, but when it came to learning the measurement of the bar and how far you can go, that came up. That's all a process that I love that, you know. Even, like, you didn't hear the new stuff I got. I got some shit, boy. Oh, my God. Yeah, I got some.
Well, in due time, I want it. I'm telling you now, I want it. Don't even worry about it. When it drop, I'm getting it. Don't even worry about it. But I want to ask you this. Now, we focus on Black Moon, and Black Moon elevated and brought about Smith & Wesson, which elevated and brought out the Fab Five. Even the Representatives came later. You know what I mean? All that. So, in that time, the influence of a 5-verse got you to want to look at something else. If you were a little later and you heard Operation Lockdown, and they talk about it went down like this. One of the niggas came through the door, picture scene, and then came through with 2 more. His was getting nervous. That whole verse talked about the introduction of the movement, and it brought people back to you and Buck.
Mm-hmm.
To at the time when I don't want to go too fast because I want to take my time and enjoy this.
Take your time. Take your time.
After that verse came, and we had another Black Moon album came out. It was like now we get to see the overall picture that was being painted from the beginning.
Right.
What did we miss from all the time lost between albums and life happening that you wish we would have gotten in fruition from the beginning?
When we first came, I was praying that we don't be a flop, and I knew that was a possibility that might have been the last shot.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I can't really say that I wish things would have been something different or something that added change, but the process was so phenomenal because I wasn't a dope MC in 89 and 90. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So hearing you say this now is making me reflect on all that time.
Okay.
For the process, because as an artist, I'm in the machine moving around. I'm not seeing what you see, and I don't hear exactly what you hear. Nonetheless, if you can understand what I mean by that.
Yeah, I mean you were in the action,
You
not
know what I'm
seeing
saying?
the response.
Even from 92, to be honest with you, from 92 to the last project, right before the last project, I've been in that machine.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So
okay.
The last project enabled me, we'll talk about that,
Rise of the Moon you talking about?
Yeah, you know what
okay.
I mean? So I've always been just in the machine working and doing things, you know what I'm saying? That's
right.
Up until recently I was able to slow down and be like, oh, this is how I did that. Oh, this is why. Oh, this is why. Oh, okay, all right, I see how this is working. Oh, I see how I realizing you built the crazy machine. And all the pieces is right there. Now put the ultimate machine together, which is the now project. You know what I mean? So, like they say in the saying goes, don't count out the process.
Okay. That's facts. That's the journey. You gotta appreciate the journey.
Don't count out the process. You know what I'm saying? The love of the game, the love of the art, and the love of the people to be able to add on and say some things to uplift it. Like when I didn't know none of this until like the internet came. If we didn't have the internet, I wouldn't know because now I'm able to contact the people, I'm able to reflect this, and that's definitely like, alright, well, that's how you feel. Because we didn't have none of that. We didn't have none of this.
Well, bro, I'm happy to be able to tell you because, like I said, me getting this interview and all my people who know me know this is big for me because I believe in appreciation because far too many of our people have come through America's bull crap and bullshit, pardon my language, but we've come through it and a lot of people have died without getting their flowers or seeing their legacy.
That's a fact. That's a
you know
fact.
What I'm saying?
And I'm humbled. I'm mad humbled right now by doing this interview with you, and anybody that does an interview with me, anybody that's reflecting, and definitely when you reminding the people, you still reminding me too. You understand that I'm somebody that had an impact on the society, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I got new things cooking to add on to that because of that add-on that you added on with just now, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to keep perpetuating that energy into the future. It ain't over, It's definitely not over. That's why when I set this up, I'm like, yeah, it's time that I start letting people know what real time it is and where I'm at and what's about to take place so everybody can get, I need hands on deck right now. You know what I mean?
So before we go to the new stuff, let's touch on two more topics and then we're going to catch everybody up to where you at now, okay?
Okay, no problem.
With boot camp, shout out to everybody in boot camp because if you allow it and you make it happen, I would love to talk to everybody. I want to talk to everybody. And unfortunately, I will not get the chance to speak to Mr. Price or RP to Sean Price. You know what I'm saying? But
R.I.P. Sean
But
Price, yeah.
I would love to have the opportunity to interview everyone. And one thing I want to ask you is the architects of the boot camp sound was the Beat Miners, Mr. Walt and Evil D.
Right.
Two of the most prolific minds that brought the gutter, dirty, analog bass drum and rhythm, not rhythm, back to the scene of hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I want to ask you, what is it like? So this is a today and a yesterday question. What is the benefit of coming from that great architect mind to working with new producers today? How did they prepare you to be the better MC on other beats today?
They came with the fire. I know I've been with E since we was in high school.
All right.
So I've been around for quite some time with E and Walt. You know what I mean? They had 100,000 records. And that was heaven to me. I was a dancer. And he was a DJ, and that was all she wrote at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? They taught me a lot about music. They taught me, you know, about bars, the different touches of music, the originality of music, all the samples, where they come from, you know, the different ways to produce. I remember E had the double tape deck cassette player, and we was using the Casio, I think the Casio keyboard. I think one of them. And that's how I used to make the beats and the music for me to dance to back in the day. For the shows that we used to do in school and stuff and around the city that we was involved in. So, you know, they've been on a record job. Their passion is very serious. It's always been serious. Walt used to DJ do the block parties back in the days in Bushwick. So they've been involved in, you know, having an ear and a love for music for quite some time. So, you know, them doing music with them prepared me to be able to do music with other people. So now I know, you know, how to format bars, how to be creative, how not to waste time in the studio, things of that nature. So I pretty much from experience from doing those projects with them, you know, that definitely prepared me to be able to do work with other artists and other producers.
Now, see, that's a good question that you formulated in my mind off of the beat, because another one of my favorite tracks that you did was Annihilation, right?
Right.
Now, shout out to MOP, one of my top 3 groups of all time. You know what I'm saying? So, let me ask you this. How did rhyming with Buck make you better, and how did you make him better? And then, how did rhyming with other people like MOP show just how nice you were by rhyming with him?
How nice Son was. Son was straight fire on the first project. So, we was dance partners first. So, the same way we dance, the same way we rap is the same way we dance. So,
aggressive. We
was already had a relationship of making each other better in the area of dancing. So, and that was a natural. So when we made the transition and started being MCs, you know, it takes time, just like everything else takes time. But I guess it was the love. It was, you know, the dedication, the love for the art, you know, all those elements right there, which was made it easier to establish what we had. You know, even through time and other projects, we still was experimental as far as his flow and my flow, you know.
Yeah, I respect that, because once again, for Rama with him to then go into Annihilation, you showed us something different than why we said, okay, he's our Phife for the gritty side of
Now I gotta tell you. Okay. When I first got the beat for Annihilation, and Mr. Walt did it, he gave it to me. It was in D&D. He said, "Yo, I got a beat for you. This shit is fire. But I want you to do it with Phife."
That was supposed to be with Phife?
I want you to do it with Phife. So I the beat. I took the beat and I was like, "Yo, I'm listening hard. I'm not even like, yo." I'm like, "Nah, son, I don't hear Phife on it. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't hear Phife on it. And I want to do a joint with some, but I don't hear him on this one." And MOP, they was in the studio around the same time, and Tef, everybody. So we was already kicking and building and establishing relationships. You know what I'm saying? So it just so happened I was like, fuck it. Tef was like, what's up? So I was like, you know what? Word, I got you right now. I'm going to send y'all the track. We arranged it, knocked it out. You know what I mean? Went in there, knocked it out. Wrote that shit together, put that shit together. That shit was fire. That shit was the moment. That shit was definitely a hip-hop moment. You know?
Well, to me, in my experience of hip hop, and shout out to one of my best friends in the world, Simp Blansky, because we used to argue about hip hop all the time. Like he's like my hip hop best friend. Like I'm Batman, he's Joker, or I'm Joker, he Batman. It be a dichotomy, right?
Right.
When we heard that track, mind you, Teflon is on the track. Mind you, Billy and Fame is on the track. Mind you, they got Fox on the intro.
That's right. That's right.
Head on collision crash, got the social smash, Mike the sanitation, probably we get rid of the trash. Five Teflon Fame, did Billy dance, got the crowd jumping out of the stands like rock bands. I mean, what? It was like, oh, yes, it is. You're right.
Video. That shit would have been fire before. That shit would have been a fire song before they did that joint with Ho.
Well, wait. Hip-hop doesn't die. Like I said, it's from God. And if God is the God of the living, that means everything you do is alive. So y'all could do the video right now and get it back popping again. What's up?
We definitely could.
Well, look, I'll put it out there. Please put it out there for y'all to do it. Because you're going to bring, like we talk about how the 90s was that vortex you said.
Right.
If you open that black hole up again,
right.
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You don't know what kind of monster y'all going to give birth to.
You never know. You could do whatever you want now.
Yeah.
You never know. I'm in contact with Billy and Faye.
Well, hey. You could tell him, we interviewed Billy already. So now I get to talk to you. Hey, you can let Billy know if he remembers Heritage Hip Hop.
Live action.
Yeah, tell him, we talked about it. What's good?
We know. We got some things cooking, man. I got some things cooking with some peoples, man. This is a different era. We don't really. This is the era that people want to see your action.
True.
They want to hear, but they want to see the action, and that's the seat I'm sitting in right now, setting the table so they can see the action.
So then let's catch up a little bit, because I want to talk about that action. I want to catch up because one of the things that I liked about how you elevated throughout the years is you didn't just stand on your name. And you said you didn't even know you had that type of name, which is crazy. But you didn't even just stand on that name. You actually kept active in the back and forth movement. Buck was doing things with people. You kept moving. You kept working. That song, Man Down, was very pivotal for the time it came out. Let's talk about Man Down and how that came about.
Man, that's my man. Matter of fact, my man Shroom did the beat. He's from Amsterdam. He the one that did he did Ghostface Superstar, I believe.
Okay.
If you do, just look him up. His name is Shroom. He's on Instagram. He's from Amsterdam. You can check him out. He got a nice catalog. He got a couple of Grammy nominations too, matter of fact. I think he worked on one of Eminem's projects, but Man Down was pretty much, it was around the time that all that shit was happening at that time. And he was like, yo, I want you to get on this track. So that's my man, Easy Cripple from 4th Floor Studio in Queens. And my man Fed Up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I came and put that together. Word.
The way that song talks is still prevalent and relevant to today. With today's changing world, what do you think is hip-hop's responsibility in keeping the message of hip-hop alive in this ever-changing society?
I think that hip-hop to me hip-hop is the message of unity, number one.
Mm-hmm.
Independence. That's what hip-hop means to me. Independence, unity, the ability to create, the ability to create and provide a situation for you and your family. And it's ordered in a unified collection, in a unified collective. You feel what I'm saying? And it's love based around hip-hop. It's creativity based around hip-hop. It's elevation based around hip-hop. 47 strong years in the game, they said it wasn't going to be here, but it got 47 in them damn things.
True.
And you got a broader perspective of what we would consider hip-hop, but it's just the same thing. It's just that we picked out a part of the culture that we love the most.
Okay.
That's what we did. We picked out part of the culture that we love the most.
Mm-hmm.
And we feed off the most. And that we utilize as motivation. So that's what people, you know, I consider that the core of the game. The core of hip-hop. That's the all elements from graffiti to b-boying to the DJing to the MC to the conversation of elevating the mind where we could be able to build and talk about the things we need to talk about without scrutiny. So that's what hip-hop means to me. All those things I just said just now. The freedom to speak and express yourself however you will and feel to unify the people.
Okay. Now, unity is actually the biggest argument that the world has today. Who's getting left out or who's not getting their voice heard, which is what hip-hop was based off of. Boot Camp was going to do, or had been, an album that never came out with Pop called The One Nation. Were you on that album as well?
Nah, I wasn't on that album.
Okay.
I wasn't out there with someone that did that. Yeah.
Okay. So, even with that, what do you think the influence of that album would have had if it came out, especially during today's climate?
You had that press, you had a lot of consciousness. That would have had an impact. And that would have been a good look and a great look for VCC. Without doubt. To have that energy and that share that energy that they shared and that project they created to come out and be manifested, that would have took things to a whole nother level for everybody involved.
Well, we're happy that you're still around today when so many of our brothers have passed away, brothers and sisters in hip-hop culture. Jizza said it best. He said, when somebody dies in hip-hop, they die young and the world is devastated. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we're glad that, unfortunately, the Dug Down family got touched by death from one of their pillar members. We're happy that you're still here, and may the Most High bless you and
Salute
your movement.
Sean Price, man, definitely. Like, he's one of the main keys, too, of why I rhyme the way I rhyme, too. Like, he's got a part of that influence. Even when the first album, when they first dropped Helter Skelter, them bars and that, I'm like, yo, nobody sound like that. Nobody had heart to say what he had. So, yeah, you know, he's definitely a big influence.
Yeah.
And not only in the game, in the camp, you know, and he's definitely missed greatly.
Yeah, he like I said, Helter Skelter. Because we're not gonna we're gonna always big up Sean Price because even how he reinvented himself, it became even greater.
So y'all didn't know about Sean Price. See, everybody was on rock at first, but I was on rock. I knew rock. We grew up. We used to be from the same area, same hood, Cephalo. You know what I'm saying? But it was just something about Sean Price. I was like, son got more than that, and he got his witty, direct, and not his not caring, but caring at the same time. Where he do what he do, nobody had that, and I know that it will only do time that shit was gonna grow. You know, one thing I was blessed to learn, even through, with Ian Walsh in the very beginning, we listened to music so much. We used to be like, yo, that's the next single. Nah, how much you want to put on it? That's the next single. And we used to do that a lot. That's how I helped me train me a lot with, especially being the A&R. You know? Word. Studying the music, listening to it like that, yeah.
Well, just to give Sean Price one more shout out, I knew he was special when I heard "Time for some action. Dick in your mouth, satisfaction. You take it out and breathe again like Tony Braxton." When I heard that, I was like, "Son, wow."
Every bar was wild. Some was just wild in real life, so it was, See, I got the bars, but it was other energy before the bars, in between the bars. Yeah. So it's definitely son is definitely missed.
Well, tell us about the new stuff that you got out before. We're going to close up the interview in a little bit, but I want to hear about some of what can you preview and get us ready for when it comes to this new stuff that you're collabing. Which can you let out of the bag tonight?
I ain't letting none out the bag, to be honest with you.
I
will say that, all right, for all those who don't know, Black Moon, we still together, we still active. The coronavirus still a monkey wrench in the program. We just dropped our latest LP in 2019, Rise of the Moon, 16 bullets in the chamber of straight heat, produced totally by the Beat Miners, Mr. Warren Eagle D. We have 2 singles out off that. And we might do another vid after the corona thing clear. But I'm about to put out, I also got a new song I did with my Poland man. It's called Magic Pen, that's out right now. The video just came out today. 2 brothers from Poland that I know. They both rhyming in Polish. I'm rhyming in English. We did the video in Brooklyn. I'm prepping for my solo album named Grace is Fire, live action. And I'm thinking about putting out a 5-element. I don't know if it's going to be mixtape or EP, but it's definitely going to be 5 elements broken down, 5 volumes, 5 songs on each project, dealing with the different elements of life. But it's going to be pretty much pertaining to what's going on in the climate that's right now. So that's what I'm currently cooking right now, to put that out right now. So in the next couple of months, you'll hear a few pieces from each project with a visual. I'm about to put that out. So, I also got my cooking thing going on, trying to get this thing together for this restaurant action, get this food action going on.
Nice.
Also designing, I'm about to start this designing. I got a lot of designs in the fashion area. So, as an artist, I'm also an artist. I like to draw. I get busy with the pencil, with the mark, whatever. But I'm putting all of this artistical perspective together so I can present it to y'all correctly. So y'all gonna get more than just music. I ain't just coming for that.
All right. So by the time this interview comes out, everybody listening to this has already been to the website and seen the music video because it will go up at the day of this recording. I will put it up on the website.
Rise of the Moon. Go get that Rise of the Moon. Go to duckdown.com. Go down there and get a Black Moon t-shirt. They got the shirts. I don't know if they still got the book bags. The Nat Fest that we had put out as well as last year. They also, you can go check Fat Beats to pick up the album, the physical copy. Nice. And it's definitely on all streaming networks, definitely.
Word. Okay, well, everybody out there, before we close up the interview, we want to say it's been an honor and a pleasure to talk to one of our favorite MCs on Heritage Hip Hop, period. And streaming is good. Stream to your heart's desire. But purchase power is better. And to ensure that your favorite MCs stay around for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, please put the money down, whether it's $1 for a single or $10 for a project.
It's just like the corner store. If the people stop going to the corner store, what's going to happen?
It's going to close.
I think.
Yeah,
so if you find it worthy to purchase and support anybody that has ever supported me over the years I put out music, I totally and highly appreciate all the support. Whether you bought it, whether you listening to me, I appreciate you, fam. You know what I'm saying, for this interview.
Thank you.
To know that people look at me in this perspective you inspire me as well. Don't get it twisted. I'm one of the artists. If I inspire, I'm inspired by you being inspired. So that gives me the fire through to keep it moving and pushing. I'm going to give a shout out to Black Lives Matter and all my peoples out there, all my black brothers and sisters that's putting in work right now to try to get these things situated and bring clarity for once in our living existence on this planet Earth. My strength, my strength and my power to all the families that lost loved ones to the coronavirus or to the latest police brutality that's been taking place throughout the world. My strength and my love goes out to you. We're gonna get through this. We're gonna do this together. The Most High is God.
Facts. And with that being said, we're going to close out with our rapid fire questions. Now, the rapid fire questions are not yes, no questions. Like I said, I don't care about food, sex, or whatever it is that people talk about. I care about your mind and your depth and your gift as an MC and as a man of God. So we're going to get started. You ready?
Yes.
All right. So you're an industry person, so these questions have to be a little different, but I'm going to ask them to you the same way. Besides any song that you've made, what song or album perfectly defines your life?
Album that defines my life.
That if I put it on, you would say that's my life. That describes me perfectly.
Wow. I got songs that I may use, but I don't got a specific album that I can say, oh, that describes my life.
So give me a song.
You know that song by Michael Jackson? What is it? We Almost There?
No. I don't know that one.
See, you don't know that one. So you're looking for a hip-hop one. I don't have a
No. It doesn't have to be hip-hop. It's you. This is your life. This is your life.
All right.
But Michael Jackson, Almost There.
To be honest with you, I ain't going to go there. Okay. Any song from Marvin Gaye is me.
You know what? That's bugged out because I always said Marvin Gaye was hip-hop.
Just about any of the strong songs that Marvin Gaye, all of them describes me, a part of me.
Let me ask you a question.
In my life.
I gotta ask you a question because I think this, and I could be wrong. So I want to hear from somebody who's in the industry. Okay. I believe Marvin Gaye's the anthology, the album, the Ecology.
Right.
I'm sorry. I think that's the first mixtape that ever came out mainstream. Do you agree? The way that album flowed.
You might be right. You might be exactly right. I never put it in that perspective before.
You remember how back in the day we had a mixtape? Mixtapes were just a bunch of songs because people were leaking tracks.
Right.
And then like not even 50. I'm gonna say a little bit before 50. When people start making their mixtapes like albums where the songs flowed together and it had like a theme to it.
Exactly.
I think Marvin Gaye's The Ecology is the structure of the mixtape.
You might be right. You might be right because keep in mind all these artists like Marvin Gaye and James, but they was ahead of their time.
Yeah, they wanted their own labels and they wanted to have artistic control.
Around. You couldn't even imagine. I wish I was a fly on the wall when Marvin Gaye was in the studio, or when James Brown was in the studio. You know what I'm saying? Or I like Tina Marie. If Tina Marie was in the studio, oh my God, Shaka Khan in the studio. I want to be a fly on the Prince in the studio. I want to be a fly on the wall. Certain artists, I wanted to wish I was the fly on the wall.
Yeah, like I said, man, the Ecology actually gave birth to Public Enemies. It was a Nation of Millions that hold us back, which sound like a mixtape the way every song flowed together.
You're gonna make me listen to that when we finish this interview, live action.
Hey man, the spirit works, man. Enjoy it. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So here's the next question. When it comes to the state of the world, how does hip hop heal the world and make it better?
Love. The message of love, the message that's always been there is love. Do our part, like we always been doing. We ain't stopped. It's always been there. That's why everybody still makes sure they be a part of it. Just that we live in a different world. That the perception is different. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You got people around the world, Paris, London, all around the world. They're still digging. They still Brazil. They still loving the essence of the game. They still loving the essence of the culture. They still trying to be a part of it. It's just growing. It hasn't stopped growing. Wow.
Do you believe hip-hop is the reason why the world can get together and protest for George Floyd?
Of course. Why can't it? Why not? You see, on the TV, I see all the young artists, they speaking out. All the young athletes, they speaking out. They're coming together, unifying. Why not? It's the most only element that we got left that's going to bring peace amongst the people. In its own right.
And it was prophesied in the 90s. How about that?
Listen, if it's prophesied, then it's meant to be.
Yeah, true indeed. Let's talk about the culture for a second. The remix is a very important part of the culture that died
Right.
and came back somewhat,
Right.
where we either changed the beats to make the song have a longer life, or we added people to the track to give it a longer shelf life as well.
Right.
What's the greatest hip-hop remix of all time?
Damn. Shut him down.
So you the second person who ever said that.
I say shut him down.
Shout out to Donkey Diamond.
That's one of my. I only said that because that's one of my all-time favorite shits, man. And
it is, yo. That's a great album. That's a great song, man.
And I still like. I'm an upbeat tempo type of person, so anything James Brown on the one, you know, even when they did it was Shut 'Em Down, and then they had Night Train. So
yeah, that's another one.
Yeah. That's another one. You know what I mean?
Classic. Those are two of my favorite remixes of all time. Yeah, classic.
Then you got Scenario.
Yeah. Kid Hood, rest in peace.
I'm going to give you Scenario for the remix, because that was just one of those joints that I remember going to the clubs back then, and when that came on, oh my God, man, damn it, oh my God.
Okay. So then let me ask you this question. Phife is from Brooklyn. And Brooklyn is a nation of its own. Brooklyn is its own country. Brooklyn isn't even New York. Brooklyn is Brooklyn.
Right.
How do you define Brooklyn, and how did Brooklyn set the standard for hip-hop?
I think for the love of the music. Brooklyn, I grew up in Brooklyn. It was always block parties in the summertime. Everywhere. That's where we met up at. That's where we met these girls. We went to socialize, dance, barbecue, cook, unify, and have a good time. You know, Brooklyn has always been that element. Unify. You could come over. I remember there wasn't. This is when no social media. Everybody will come. Yo, son, you coming out? Come check you. Come pick you up. Go to the park, play ball, or whatever you're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? And all those elements are deeply rooted in the culture of hip hop. The struggle, the lifestyle, the experiences, I think the aggression and the heart helped Brooklyn put the stamp in being part of the hip hop culture, because that's what it was over the years back then. You know what I'm saying? How the hood was, how the streets of Brooklyn were. You know.
Yeah, Brooklyn is so big. There's so many elements to Brooklyn.
Yeah, but as it grown, it had so many, because it's multicultural. Everybody from all parts of the world come to Brooklyn. You get it all. Jewish, Polish, Irish, Italian, African, West Indian, Guyanese, Chinese. You know, all those elements was in always been in Brooklyn since I was young. So it's always been a multicultural base, and it's broad.
Okay, I respect that. Let me ask you a question. Build your perfect track. Who's the feature MCs? If there are any, who did the beat? Wait. And Dead or Alive, you have no restrictions.
All right, so you're saying a track, a producer, and
a producer,
feature?
If you want features. Dead or Alive, no restrictions.
Who I want to do the track for, man. Alright, oh my gosh, alright. Producer. Alright, I always wanted to be, I want to be from Swift. And I want to be from Timberland.
Alright.
Okay. The artists I want to do tracks with, I plan to do tracks, I would like to do tracks with, R.J. Payne.
Good one.
Davies. Locks. Rock Marciano.
Beast.
Benny the Butch,
Another one.
Fish, G-Rap, Rakim. I need Chuck D on the track.
Nice.
That's all I can think of right now. My list is too long because I do got a lot of I got a few artists. Royce the 5'9". What's another artist from Detroit? Fat Cat.
Yeah, Fat Cat.
Yeah, Fat Cat got some bars. He's great anyway. It's a lot of artists. I ain't go front. It's a little list I got.
Okay.
That I listen to that I dig they work heavy.
Yeah, I once read in an article that you and your daughter used to listen to Redman a lot.
We used to listen to Redman and MOP.
Wow.
That's what I used to listen to. Redman and MOP. You asking why the bars be the way they are.
That's dope. That's dope. Yo, it's refreshing to know that my studies have come to fruition, and this is dope. Thank you for that.
Right. You're welcome, champion. You're welcome. Man.
Check this out, though. Today in hip hop, too many people are too buddy to me when it comes to the music. I'm not against unity. I don't think everybody should rhyme with everybody because you dumb down your own talent. And I can appreciate. I can appreciate when
that for nobody. I mean, especially if you hot, like I wouldn't advise that for everybody to do, but that's just something.
It's overdone. And I appreciate when an MC can carry his own album. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But there are certain songs where you have a guest star or feature on your song, and they could steal a song from you, which is crazy.
Right.
As an MC and a hip hop fan, who has the greatest feature of all time? Who's the best guest 16 in history?
In history?
To you.
I like too many artists. I can't even give one up. I do. I like too many artists. There's a lot of artists. Like I got a podcast I'm gonna do. It's gonna be strictly catering to lyricism and the artists that I appreciate them for their lyricism and why they the lyricists. So all these questions that you asking me, I'm gonna be able to break down more better in the podcast. Because now I have the music, I have the breakdown, and everything will make sense, and you'll be able to see. You know what I'm saying?
Let's do it.
It's a lot of artists that have some fire bars out there, man.
Well,
let me see, man. Let me see who got the most recent fire bars. Right now, I gotta go for RJ Payne, man. He has the fire bars.
Yeah, he's killing it right now. Straight shout out to him, yo.
Fire bars. He has the fire bars. Benny the Butcher also has the fire bars. Conway got the fire bars.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Griselda is moving it. Yeah.
Davies always have the fire bars.
Yeah.
We're going to serve for a minute. He's been putting work for a minute. This is fire.
Okay. Well, for everybody out there listening, once again, this is the 5-foot General MC from Duck Down, BCC, one of the best collectors in hip-hop history. If you don't know them, you're corny, and you need to do your homework, because this is what it is. This is hip-hop right here. And with that being said, we come to the last question of the interview, and I thank you for this. Unfortunately, in 2,000 years, you're physically not going to be on the earth anymore. You're going to pass away. And we don't pray for that to happen anytime soon, but this is a reality. Right. And unfortunately, there's going to be a world event where the ground is going to shake and the building is going to fall. And after that building's fall, a child is going to walk past that building and find a weird contraption that they don't even use called the laptop. And that laptop, they're going to find an alien thing called the MP3. And then they're going to hear your music, your features, your group, your solo stuff. And then you're going to be reintroduced into a new generation of music lovers in hip-hop's future. My most important question to every person that comes on Heritage Hip Hop is this: what is the legacy that you left in the world that made it better because you were hip hop and you did the music and the culture?
I hope and pray that that I be a symbol of your ability to do whatever you put your mind to, and do not limit yourself. And, you know, I did it with dignity. I did it with morality. And those are the things that's most important to me right now. You know.
Okay. Well, everybody out there that's listening, it has been an honor, and our guest is here. It's an honor and a pleasure to get to talk to him, to show him that everything that he did in hip-hop matters, just like everything he did in his life as a father, as a friend, as a family member, as a pioneer in the game matters. So, Phife, thank you for blessing us with this interview. It was a dream come true for me, and for everybody who's Black Moon fans and who knows how New Jersey loves hip-hop, thank you for the opportunity to spread this love to us once again, even outside of the music. We appreciate it.
Thank you, man, for giving me the opportunity to be on your Heritage podcast and be able to express and speak to people and let them know that I'm still alive, breathing. Without you, they wouldn't be able to be hearing from me. So more salute to you than me. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, may the Most High get the blessings, man. It's not even about me.
All day get the blessings.
So with that, everybody, we say peace.
Peace.
And we out.
Black Lives Matter. Live action.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. This episode was a blessing. And shout out to Ms. Green Eyes for hooking us up with this phenomenal interview. See, 5 Foot, for a lot of people who don't understand, is part of Black Moon, which you've heard, but he was the voice that people long for because Black Moon was a trio and we got the duo. And I mean, if you remember the song, I Got You Open, one of the most pivotal lines at the end of the song was, "We're coming to get you out, kid," talking to Phife. And Phife is somebody who, when he hits the mic, his voice brings energy and elevation to the track. So to be able to talk to somebody who may not become a mainstream topic in hip hop is amazing, because his perspective and his story is very important. While everybody longs to talk to Jay-Z and Nas, which is also very important, we have to talk to the people who pitched in, not only behind the scenes, but along the movements that made these movements great. I want to give a shout out to Duck Down as a movement for not only bringing us great music, but ensuring that the culture stays alive. Whether it's Boot Camp, Kids in the Hall, KRS-One, even albums with Ninth Wonder, Boot Camp has always pushed the limits of greatness and success whenever they've been counted out. So to OGC, the representatives, Helter Skelter, Black Moon, Smith & Wesson, everybody on Duck Down, we salute you on Heritage Hip Hop. And we also invite you to peer on our platform. And with that being said, and our thank yous going out, once again, this episode is brought to you by Transparent Credit Repair, the financial superheroes of the credit repair, financial literacy world. If you want to fix your credit and open your wallet up to receive money and not take money out to pay debt and bills, contact them at www.transparentcreditrepair.com. You can also call them at 862-250-5122 and tell them Heritage Hip Hop sent you. You may get rewarded for that. Before we get out of here, we ask everybody to please support us at www.heritagehiphop.com. We have just released a new playlist called the Mike Council Our Lives Matter playlist, where we highlight songs that talk about what's going on in our civil unrest from mainstream and underground artists, saluting those who have stood for the people and the struggle, not just made music that was about heresy, death, murder, and drugs. So this new playlist is available on our website for streaming on www.heritagehiphop.com. For anybody who'd like to buy any apparel, we have new shirts out, and we got new things to make you look good during the summer months. If you like t-shirts or you want to get a hoodie or something for the winter and fall season early, you could go to www.storefrontier.com/heritage hip hop. We like to say thank you to Fatty's Place, Diamonds Entertainment LLC, Fire Jaws, and Adiyar for helping us make this show and our platform possible. You can check them out on all social medias and grow with us as we collectively make heritage hip-hop bigger than music, but about the culture and the community that we create. And with that being said, we say peace, and we out.